So it seems we may have some hint towards the Tanabata unit upcoming in about a week. This information, we got a lot of this information, I feel like, after the data download and even like recently an hour ago. So I think it's good to just make another video about it because I feel like this is really important to talk about. So we got these new icons yesterday. People were kind of like talking about these new icons. There was speculation, oh, could these be, part of skill orbs, right? And there's some interesting ones like kind of critting, taking an attack, or dodging, guarding, critting, I guess, again, right? Or super attack boost. People are like confused on what this is, and there's these set of missions that we saw right here, which is very interesting. But what essentially was found out is that these are not, again, skill orbs, which is what I thought, because skill orbs look a little different, right? I mean, take a look in the same thread, we literally have some skill orbs. They like have this effect like around them, like with all the dots and everything, usually skill orbs. These don't. So these are just icons, right? Like Proton says, unique skill icons, right? And essentially they're like the icon that we have for the revive is standby skill and then the charge. So if you saw for the 8th anniversary, again, this is the Dragon Ball Z duo where we charge up their spirit bomb, or like the Majin Vegeta where you charge up the finish skill, right? And this is just basically like the charge up feature where per orb we collect we get this amount. This is the revive, where basically you have to use a revive to activate the finish skill, and that's how the GT duo actually work. But now we got a bunch of extra more here, and we don't know exactly what each one of them do, but we have a pretty good idea here. So again, Thieving 6 is post this, but there are going to be requirements to charge with additional attacks, crits, dodge, and guards. In addition, there's also missions tied to additionals, crit, dodge, guard for rewards. And that's what I was talking about right here. One of these missions here, actually, they're not here, but there's missions as well for that. But if we see here, charge skill, gauge, charge count up, charge skill model, right? And these are basically the abilities to like activate the finish skill is more or less what it is, because what happens is the standby skill and finish skill go hand in hand. The standby skill is how it's kind of like most of the time it's actually, yeah, it's been like an exchange-ish, or you go to like a different form of the character, or stay of the character, like how World Tournament 23rd World Tournament Goku gets like to his injured state, right? Something like that. And then you basically activate the finish skill by completing the requirements of the standby skill meter or the charge meter, which again, with this Dragon Ball Z duo, you want to collect as many orbs as you can. With the GT duo 23rd World Tournament Goku, you want to activate a revive skill. And that's how you get the finish skill, right? That's basically the general breakdown. But now, it seems like there's the other options, right? So assume this is going to be... I think this is... Okay, I know what it is. This is critical hit. This is receiving an attack. This is dodging. This is guarding. This is additional attacks. The reason why I think this is additionals and this is crit is because this is like the animation. Like, you guys know when your characters do like an additional normal, they do that kicking animation. This is exactly what that is. If you play Dokkan a lot, you know what I'm talking about. And I guess this is performing a super attack is what I'm assuming. This is the one I'm most unsure of. But this looks like the super attack boost icon in, the hidden potential system. So I think that's what that is. Again, this looks like dodge. This is obviously guarding, right? So very interesting. There's going to be different, like, they added 6 different ways to charge the standby skill, which is really good for diversity in future standby skill units, so they're not literally the same 2 things. I know a lot of people want a little more diversity into the game, and whilst I do think that they are intending to keep the game kind of simple, it's nice that they're going to make these characters still a little more unique in order to spice up gameplay. And I think the standby skill is still a pretty simple feature to understand, so big thumbs up for Dokkan, I feel. And this is really cool. So I wanted to ask you guys, what did you think these new standby skills could potentially be? And I'll actually just reload this, right? Like, again, yeah, attacking. Again, I think this is critting. Yeah. And I didn't really talk about it too much, but one thing I could also bring up is the legends. I wonder if I could bring up the legends unique gauge page. Let me take a look here. I mean, pretty much the unique gauge and standby skills, if you play legends, are very similar to each other. Where, sorry, I had to pause it real quick, but we're back. The standby skill and the unique gauge are very similar. I mean, they pretty much can work the exact same way, especially now. I mean, there's a lot of these characters that do different things to unlock their unique gauge. I don't think it'll be as diverse as Legends because, like, I like Ultra Super Vegito, for example. I believe what it does is he has his unique gauge starting off, like, all the way filled. Where is it? I guess I could look up gauge, or yeah, there it is. So, restores unique gauge by 10% every time enemy uses strike a blast arts card. So it charges up every time he does get attacked, which I guess does make sense. And then what happens is, actually, no, this is perfect. This is like, let's say, new Super Vegito. Every time he receives an attack, he builds up this gauge. And then when the gauge is filled up, maybe he could do some counter attack or something, like some like mega counter. That way they could, in a sense, like kind of not necessarily nerf like how counters work, but like find a workaround, because counters could be really, really strong in the right hands of the right units. So that could be an interesting way for them to make the Vegito not have to necessarily, like, it can make him like, because a lot of the Vegetos, the issue is that the counters are so strong they can't make these Vegetos tank these super attacks, right? For the most part. So what they could do with the new Vegetos, now they can make them able to tank super attacks, and then when the unique gauge is filled up, you could activate a counter mid-turn. That could be something that could be really interesting, right? I think I would assume that could work like that. How this Broly works with his unique gauge is that, again, he also receives attacks, and then essentially he's able to stop the enemy from like attacking. So like, what if like we get a new Broly, he's very tanky, and then after a few attacks he receives, he could like, I guess, maybe he could even like nullify an enemy attack or the next few attacks, or he could do something to like disrupt the enemy from attacking you. And I think that could be pretty cool for something like that to happen. I'm not actually too sure what this Kid Buu gauge does, but like there's a lot of ideas you could take here from Kid Buu. He charges his gauge, he just gets extra damage and stuff, and he restores HP. So like Majin Buu, maybe Majin Buu wants again receive attacks again, and is another one probably, and then he heals after a certain amount of attacks. Like, what if he receives 5 attacks, and then, or he takes a super attack or something, right? And then after he takes a super attack, the unique gauge like fills up, and then he's able to heal at the end of turn, like 20%, 30% HP. Like, that could be really interesting. I think one that a lot of people want to see is hit, and this could be like, again, where this character wants to do a bunch of attacks. Like we can see like hit does like additional attacks, or maybe he wants to perform a critical hit, right? That could be interesting. Like, if he performs a critical hit, he builds up the unique gauge, and then after the unique gauge is full, you have the time skip mode, where essentially it could work like a giant form or something, and then in the time skip mode you have 3 hits, and you basically are able to do a lot of free damage to the enemy or something. Or maybe a hit, every time he dodges, he can fill up the unique gauge, and when the unique gauge is activated, then he can actually do the time skip. Like, stuff like that could be really, really interesting. A lot of people are talking about, are we going to get Dragon Fist Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Dokkan soon? Like, with good animations? Make it the exact same thing as this guy, where this guy, again, he builds up his unique gauge, which would be, again, the same thing, a unique gauge in Dokkan, every time he attacks. So when the Goku attacks and stuff like that, and then after the unique gauge is full, you can activate the Dragon Fist, and then the Dragon Fist like does mega damage or something, right? It's kind of like the Dragon Ball Z duo, except with the key spheres you collect. It's the attacks that this guy could do, right? And again, like this Trunks taking attacks, this Piccolo, I think, he takes attacks, right? UI Goku is interesting because his unique gauge is technically like always like, it starts off filled off, and then this guy dodges, and then he uses the unique gauge every time he dodges. I don't think that's how Dokkan would do it. I don't know if it's possible. If it's like, okay, the unique gauge is full, and then it charges down with each dodge you do instead of charging up. And then it's like, okay, UI Goku, like, the gauge is full, and then until the gauge depletes, he guaranteed dodges, and it activates per dodge, and he could do like 10 guaranteed dodges in the fight or something. Like, that could be like pretty strong if they want to do something like that, right? Imagine, that would be really, really nasty. And then after the bar is finished, maybe he still has a 70% chance to dodge or something. Like, that could be cool, right? There's a lot of, like, interesting ideas they could bring into this. I mean, like, this Gogeta, his unique gauge, when it's full, like, there's Ki Blast cards, right? Ki Blast attacks, he's able to basically, like, nullify the Ki Blast attack and follow up with an attack. What if we get a new blue Gogeta? When the unique gauge is full, he guaranteed, like, counters like super attacks, and then it's like a really big damaging attack, right? Like a guaranteed counter could be very interesting in, you know, the specific situations. But yeah, that's kind of really like it. The interesting ones are this, like a Gamma 1, but this is kind of like, you know, Gamma 1 standby, like a Gamma 1 2 unit standby into Gamma 1, and then they charge up the unique gauge by one of these things, and then Gamma 2 comes in and does the sacrifice move, right? That's kind of more of like a general unique, like basically like how the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta work, right? Trying to think of like more unique ways. But let me know what y'all think. I mean, this unit disables Rising Rush. So again, like, what if they like can counter super attacks, right? Like you're against Sin Shenron, and this unit has their guaranteed super attack counter up. Maybe they are able to get a scouter somehow, and then they just like counter the super attack, like Sin Shenron super or something. Like, that could be really, really interesting. But let's take a look at what you guys are thinking about this. Dude, just thinking about this makes me so happy, because it's like there's so many interesting ways they could do it. But I'm also scared, because then they could just be the most basic things ever, because again, I don't think this game is trying to aim to be like very complex. I think the game wants to try and be as simple as possible, but I mean, it's not like, you know, these things would be like, you know, oh, the hardest thing to like remember or anything like that, right? This unit could draw 3 ultimates. Let's see here. So I'm gonna refresh one more time, but so, Dragon for Super Saiyan 3 Goku that has a dodge attacks or finish skill. Yeah, that could be interesting, right? Because in the movie, technically, he's taking attacks and he's dodging attacks, so it could be like that. And then once that's activated, he could do the Dragon skill finish. Because keep in mind, you don't have to like actually activate the attack technically for a finish skill, because the revive, for example, can proc an attack. So I assume, like, if you dodge an attack, it could activate the finish skill if your gauge is filled up, and that that might actually technically end the turn. I'm not sure. Maybe they can make it so that it doesn't end the turn and just plays the animation mid-turn. I guess that would make sense, because like with revives, you like die anyways, right? But with, like, you know, these other attacks, you technically won't die, right? Like I was talking about, like with the Vegito counter, it would be awesome to see Revival UI Goku and the will be dodge. Yeah, exactly what I said. Where he has the dodge, and then like with each dodge he does, the unique gauge like defills, and then essentially from there on he still like could have a great chance to dodge. But you give him guaranteed gouge for the first few turns. That can be really disgusting, right? Jiren standby into full power Jiren after guarding 11 times. That could be cool, right? Same concept for Dispo and Super Speed Mode Dispo, but using dodge, or Topo into God Topo after getting hit. Yeah, Topo went God Topo when he was like getting blasted by Golden Frieza and 17 at the same time. That sounds pretty bad, but you guys get the point. Where basically they're throwing their Ki Blast at them at the same time, and then he was like, nah bro, I had enough, and he transformed to God Topo. It was crazy. Remember when Topo topoed all over them? It's wild. Performing an attack, Kefla, receiving an attack, Super Vegito plus gets counters. Yeah, again, like, it could be a way where it's like, you know, every 3 attacks he could do a counter attack, but then that also will allow him to, like, that way the counters are not too strong, but still could be very powerful. And then it could make him not afraid to have him take super attacks, so that he doesn't become one of these units that kind of like, the thing with Super Vegito is, the issue is that, like, at this point super attacks are just too, or super attacks on the main way you take damage, right? That's just how it's going to be now. So like, imagine a Dokkan Fest LR Super Vegito now coming out, and he can't take Sinciner on super attack, he gets one shot because he has counters. Like, that would just be like annoying, honestly, right? You know, it'd be like, oh, dude, they fumbled Super Vegito. Jiren guarding, right? Because he like, yeah, Jiren like stops with the eye attack. That's pretty cool. Hits with the critical hits is what I'm seeing. And then perform super attacks Buhan because he keeps spamming Super Vegito. Again, yeah, these are a lot of really good ideas. Unique aids from Legends. I mean, yeah, we had this already, but they're making it more expansive. Like how unique gauges are working more and more expansive, which is pretty cool. GT Goku, standby to pan, transform to Super Saiyan 4 for overcharge it. If it isn't full, his finish goal is Golden Grade 8, but then back to Super Saiyan 3 Goku. Okay, that could work. Pan standby is the dodge. Standby gauge increased when an ally dodges. Just gives allies 39% chance to dodge. That would be so disgusting. Dude, it's like you can give some characters guaranteed dodge, right? That would be very, very, very nasty. Maybe they'd find a way to cap it where it's like 39% chance to dodge to all allies, and then I don't know, they would have to find some way to word it like max 70% or something. So it's like, okay, you can't give like Chi guaranteed dodge, or you know, you can't give UI Goku guaranteed dodge like that. Like, supporting dodge is just so disgusting. I don't think that they'll ever do that unless they cap it like that. And it would sound weird because it gives 39% chance to dodge, but then it's capped out at 70%. But I think like, this cannot cause characters to go above a 70% chance to dodge or something, would be the wording they could use. UI Goku and Jiren are gonna go crazy, yeah. I mean, that's pretty much most people's ideas here. And this is fun, honestly, making this video here. So let me know what you guys could think could come from these standby skills. I think your unique skills, these are very, very cool, and I'm very excited for the future what we could see for Tanabata. So thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.